It's just common sense. Walls work. That's why most of the Democrats in Congress have voted in the past for bills that include walls and physical barriers and very powerful fences. The walls we are building are not medieval walls.
That's President Trump standing his ground on securing the southern border, no matter what the critics say. Former Trump campaign manager and co-author of Trump's Enemies, Fox News contributor David Bossie joins me now with his take on all of this. Okay, so they're saying he caved. Did he cave?
No, I don't see it as a cave. I see this as a process. This is what you just said in your open, Judge. This is a halftime stop in the action. The president's going to readjust. He's going to figure out the path forward. But I can assure the American people that he's going to build a wall. At the end of the day, there's going to be a wall, and that's what the president knows. He is trying to force Congress to do their jobs. They've abdicated the responsibility. And by the way, Judge, you and I both blame Paul Ryan over the last 2 years that he failed. And we're only in this position. President Trump's only in this position because Paul Ryan and the Republican leadership failed this president.
In the omnibus bill.
Absolutely.
In the omnibus bill, preventing him from using any money for a barrier. But more importantly, the president has a heart, and that's what people don't realize.
And he understands and what's going on. He hears from the families. He sees his White House staff, those folks that aren't at work. He understands. Look, you know, in the Washington, D.C. area, there are federal employees who had to go to food banks. In my community, the public schools and the private schools, I have kids in each, are holding lunches and dinners for the families who are affected by this. That's what communities do. They come together to help people out. But that's what the American people saw, and that's why they want the government open, so these 800,000 people are
and the president heard about this.
Of course he did, but it doesn't mean that he lost focus on building the wall and having all of border security. We get focused on the wall, but this president wants to fix the broken lottery system, right? He talks about the comprehensive problem. He doesn't want a comprehensive solution, which is what a lot of people have wanted over the years, but he understands the visa problem, the lottery problem. These folks are coming into this country illegally. We need border security. We need more border men and women on the border.
Okay, but the problem is that, okay, he has a heart, and he says, look, I don't want this going on anymore. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer are like, no, he knows you can't play with us. I mean, they don't know the guy. You know, he's just living to fight another day and another hill. All right?
Let me just say this. This is about the reprehensible actions of Nancy Pelosi. This president stood tall in the breach. That's what leadership is. He said, I own this, when he really didn't. That's what leaders do. Nancy Pelosi owned this shutdown because this president, the watchword in Washington for the last 200 years, has been compromise, where both parties come together and they find a middle ground.
It's the only way to get things done.
In this particular case, this president made multiple offers, and the Democrats said no. The Democrats said $0, no money for border security. And I will say that the blood is on their hands at this point. The American people have to understand who wanted them to be secure and who didn't.
They don't. And that's the crazy part of it.
Well, we have a communications problem. There's no question. We have to make sure that we are educating the American people all the way through this process.
What's going to happen on the 15th? Will they come up with a bipartisan resolution?
One of the things we have to do over the next, till the 15th, the next 3 weeks, is to make sure the American people understand that the president is putting policies and offers on the table, and the Democrats are not. And if we get to February 15th and these Democrats have not done what they said, which is we will negotiate once you open the government.
And he did.
And he did. Now we're going to see the shoe is on the other foot. Nancy Pelosi, we're going to try to make sure the American people recognize that it is her that is standing in the way of border security.
Okay, and does that mean you don't expect anything good to come of it?
I think this president is going to deal with the cards he's dealt. If these obstinate, politicians, which are going back to gridlock, Americans hated gridlock. We haven't heard gridlock in years, the 2 years that Donald Trump's been president, because he forces the issues. He's not a laid-back president. He is somebody who's forcing the issue every single day, and that's what he wants to do, is build the wall and secure the American people.
Is
and that's
he
what
gonna
he's going to
build
do.
a wall?
He's going to do it. And look, on the 15th, if he has to use his emergency powers, if he has to use the military to do it, he's going to.
I agree. And David Bossie, thanks so much.